Hey guys, Kev here, and I'm going to do a disassembly of the Divo Knives Stout V2 prototype. So pre-orders coming up on this guy, hopefully end of July, early August, and I think we finally decided on the versions. Don't hold me to it, but we did add a couple from the last video when I said it was just going to be purple and blue. Looks like we're going to do the purple version like this with the Belt Satin. And then we're going to do the blue version I showed you before with the Belt Satin. And then it's looking like we're going to do the same blue version, but with a Stonewash, because some people like Stonewash. And then we're going to do this two-tone version with the White Storm, Black DLC, and then the DLC Belt Satin blade with the two-tone. So keep that in mind. You get the coating inside of the deployment hole and on the spine. It's very cool. And this is the one I'm going to take apart because this is a prototype, and I already put skiffs in this one previously. So I'm going to go ahead and put some in this knife just to see how it goes. The knife will be a little bit different in production, so I'll have to do another video when it comes out, just because we're changing. That's the only thing we're changing. Everything else is we really love. We're just changing the clip design a little bit. I kind of showed it in the first video, but I do have sort of a broken down version here I can show you. So basically underneath the clip, well, we can see when I take it apart, but there's a wire clip slot. This is how it's going to be in production. This just has, so you won't see actually, this just has two screws and it's like a normal milled clip. This and production is going to have the wire clip slots. And then the clip is going to look like this. Okay, we're going to change this to be a little bit of a bigger hole and screw, hopefully, so it's a little more interchangeable with stuff. And then these slot into that wire clip slot. So it nestles in there, it locks it in with these tangs, and then the screw drives it in. And that way, you have the milled clip installed on the knife, but people who want a wire clip can take that off and install a wire clip. That is the idea behind it, and that's what we're rolling with. And we'll provide the wire clip. I don't think we're going to provide any other extra hardware like we usually do, and to be honest, it's because of cost. This knife is very expensive for us to make, and we just struggle with trying to sell a knife for $400+. And so we're trying to do what we can to keep the cost down a little bit, but we want to do Vanax and fat carbon and belt satins and all the cool stuff milling. So we just can't do the extra hardware kit because those are like, you know, a good chunk of change when you think about it towards the cost. So we're just going to provide what you need for the wire clip. If there's an extra screw, you'll get that. And that would be, and the wire clip. So you'll get that stuff. And then we'll order extra hardware for ourselves. If anybody needs stuff, we'll have it. But that's kind of how we're going to roll with that. But yeah, so there's going to be the 4 versions. And then we're going to do lefties as well. And I think for the lefties, we're going to just do the purple with Belt Satin and the blue with Stonewash. So that way lefties have a Stonewash and a satin version. And they have the purple and blue, which I think would be the most popular version. So get into it. We have a T8 all around. I do want to show you this real quick. I'm going to do a video on this, but I want to just show it as well. This is from Skiff Made Blades or Skiff Workshop. And this is called the Finger Bit. I've showed you guys this before, but I've only ever had the 3D printed plastic versions, and I absolutely love it. Even in plastic, it honestly works fantastically. But he got it figured out, and he now has the aluminum version. So this is an aluminum, and you can see it's got that nice deep engagement for the bit, and you can hold it like this, and that's how you can work on a spinning pivot. You don't need that in this case, but I'm hoping the magnet stays in there. I've had to re-glue the other one a couple of times, but that's okay. I can still do that. Like I might need it down here when I tighten this guy up, because it's a spinning barrel there for that body screw. So what you do is you get it locked in like this, and then you take your driver on the other side, right? And now you can easily undo that. It's very, very cool. I'm a huge fan of this product, and I think he's making more, so I'm going to come out with a video around whenever he's going to drop another batch. So that way it'll be available. But you know, one of my favorite tools in the arsenal, and they're like 20 bucks, 25 bucks in aluminum. I think that's fantastic. So let's rip into this bad boy. We'll see, what do we need to even take out? So that we'll take out the pivot, obviously. No logo on the pivot. We're not doing that anymore when we can help it. Should be D-shaped. We'll take a look at that when we get in there. We need to obviously take the scale off here. So we're going to get into the clip. Everything's kind of popping apart here. So these are longer screws, so I want to make sure I keep them together. There we go. So you have a longer screw there for the clip. And then this guy goes here. And then this guy, they're the same. This one goes there. So we have that, and then obviously the pivot. So then we can take it apart. Backspacer, standard stuff here. You have a lock bar insert / over travel stop right here with a nice large size detent ball. Gotta love that. And then we just have stock bearings in here. They should be, I believe they are, 5mm 1/16. And we're gonna get some alcohol. Here's a look at the blade. So again, this is a DLC Belt Satin. Very, very cool finish in my eyes. So basically what they do, as far as I understand, is they do the belt satin and then they do a light coating of DLC, or they do the DLC and then do the belt satin over it. I'm not actually sure how that works. But it's very, very cool. Not necessarily needed on a Vanax blade like we're going to do in production, but you will have the satin parts that'll be uncoated, so you can kind of get the benefit there. And you get the other benefits of Vanax, which, you know, has good edge retention. And I think for $325 on pre-order, you're not killing yourself to get it either. So there's that. But anyway, clean that off. Drop the pivot out. I'll probably flip these washers over, but just clean everything up. Clean our detent ball and clean off the lock tang or lock bar there. We have a little pin for the lanyard pin for the 8 of you guys that are lanyard folks. We're going to clean the pivot here. And hopefully this will be the same in production, but it's nice and tight on there. On the Buzz, we had some where they didn't fix it to the barrel too well, and I really want it to be affixed very well. Big fan of that, because I hate when a knife has that show side pivot come loose. It really bugs me. So obviously it's even more annoying when it's my own brand or knife that does it, but it is something Best Tech does. So nice and dirty in there. Look at that. Maybe we can drive a T6 through there as well, just to get a little deeper. That's what she said. Oh, almost knocked my little Tinker Force tray over. Let me move this up. Got my sweet tray. Love that thing. I think we're going to update it to add one more slot to put this bad boy in, which is going to be cool. So again, D-shaped pivot, but it doesn't go all the way. The D starts here, which is very nice. I like that much better than when it's a full D, because then your blade is actually riding on a full circle, or mostly. Let's grab these washers and see what's underneath. Yeah, just a clean side. That's what I want. I'll put that in here and do the same thing. All my disassembly tools are listed in the description down below. So if you are curious what I am using, you can find it all down there. If it's linked on Amazon, I linked it. If it's linked wherever it's linked. These are really good. They're so cheap. I got like a pack of 12 of them for like $8. It's just a magnet on a pen that goes out 3 feet, and it's freaking indispensable. I love it. So we got that all in. I don't know if there's anything else to really show you. Backspacer drops in, you know. Let's see. Which way is the pivot going? That's a good question. Okay. Show side. This would be the show side. Oops. Seriously? You're gonna be a little bitch? Okay. D shape is on. Ooh, that's dirty there. Let me clean that up. How do I get in there? Let me just do this. Yeah, look at that schmutz there. Didn't even realize. See if there's any here too. No, just on that one side. Interesting. So I'm going to take a little bit of KPL Original and get that on the pivot there, just to give it a little bit of something for the blade to roll on, basically. And then I'm going to get bearings. So I'm going to take some 5mm 1/16. We try to make as many of our knives the same as possible, so it makes it easy. So most of our knives are 5mm 1/16 bearing, as long as it makes sense, right? I think we've had a couple be smaller. We have one coming with Concept where they kind of do their own thing. Technically, I think they are 5mm 1/16, but they use a race washer, and you kind of just have to use their bearings, which are good. They're like Teflon caged ceramic. So luckily they use good bearings. You don't have to worry about it, but you can't really swap those. I've tried it, and just, I don't know, haven't had the best luck with that. So I just stick with their bearings. So we got our bearings in. Drop that in. Clean our fingies off. We're going to take a little bit of KPL Heavy. I did not clean out the detent holes, so I'm going to do that. Just going to grab a little bit of alcohol here. And then I just put that in the hole. That's what she said. Nice and clean. Sop that up. You'll notice there's no detent ramp. We don't really like detent ramps unless they're necessary. On this knife, it's not necessary in my opinion. I can show you once we get it back together why I think that is. Alright, so everything's cleaned up, right? Good to go. So we're just going to put this guy on. Oh, we need to get that pivot, or that, we need to get that straight up. It's a little hard to get it from this angle, but I should be able to get it. Okay, I'm going to try to do it with the blade closed. That's my preferred spot for doing it, because I feel like with Best Tech, usually you get lined up the best closed. So we'll see here. I'm struggling with this washer. Do I have the D shape Hold on. You know, I think the D shape might be on the bottom, which would explain why we're having all this trouble. Yep, it is. Sorry, I'm an idiot. All right, hold on. All right. That should make a pretty big difference for us here. So that goes on. Don't know why. There we go. I think we're good. All right. One other thing I didn't do, which is terrible timing, is clean the pivot screw, which I know is going to need to be cleaned. And I don't want to let this go because that'll happen. So what I'm going to do is drive it in. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to put everything else together, and then I'm going to worry about that. So just tighten everything a little bit. Now this prototype has a filler tab over here. The production version will not have that filler tab because we are doing the lefty version, so we're just getting rid of the filler tab. It's tight. 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 Don't need to go crazy, but I do want to get this guy snug. So I'm just going to lock that one in with my Skiff tool, finger bit, and then give it a little snug, that's all. So as is, we are, looks to be dead centered. No play. Great action. So let's see if I can get this out. Clean it without having too much of a fuss. And I just noticed, you guys probably saw it a long time ago, that lanyard pin is sitting right there. This is where I think, do I really need that? Do I really need this? You know, is it that necessary? I was like, why is it got detent lash? Because the fucking pivot screw isn't in there, boss. Alright. We're gonna have to do it. Now I do wonder, well, this basically assembles everything, never mind. There's no like screws underneath. Some bolster locks have screws underneath that hold everything together, but this one doesn't have it that way. So hopefully I can just pop this pin through though. That's my plan right now. Without having to go all the way in. Everything's just falling out here. This is horrible. I'm an idiot. So there's no cutout here for the lanyard pin, so that tells me it needs to go in flush. So, alright, I'm just going to take it all apart. There's no reason to keep messing around like this. Come on. There we go. I swear I put it in there when I swear I did that. But maybe at some point I popped it off or something. So, let's see if we can't get this back together now. Now I can use the pivot screw again. So literally how not to assemble and reassemble your knife, but hey. And again, the production version is going to be a little different because it's not going to have the filler tab, so they're going to need something for structure over on that show side, right? They're going to need something over here because this can't be the last screw. They're probably going to have to move a screw here or do something, right? And that'll be fun to figure out. But we'll get that all dialed in for production. Yeah, I don't know why, but for some reason this one barrel just wants to spin on me. Just a touch. Okay. So, right now, dead centered, fires, everything feels good. The freaking pin is in. Okay, so let's remove that, make sure everything's together. Make sure it goes back together. Keeps wanting to cross thread, so I'm just trying to get it to, there we go, seat in. I'm just testing it now. Thinking about gluing it or not. Center right up. Feeling a little bit of movement there that I didn't feel initially. I don't know if that's from the skiffs or what. Detent feels fucking amazing. No, now it's gone. Okay, I think it was just something was seated weird. Yeah. Yep, it's gone. Perfect. Okay, so we are going to, I think I'm just going to go for it. Let's try it one more time and see what happens. Just making sure nothing crops up dead centered. No play. Swings. Nothing. Okay. So, take it apart. Clean it off. It's freaking dirty. Take a little bit of alcohol here. Coated screws tend to be a little dirtier, you know. All right. So, we are going to take the glue. And we're going to take just a little bit. Right there. That's it. We're going to make sure this bitch doesn't want to cross thread because that's what it's been wanting to do. Okay. Tighten it. Centered. Nothing weird. No play. Great action. Okay. So I'm going to let this bad boy just sit. Look at that. Boom. Right down the middle. Let that sit for a second. But yeah, so that's the prototype disassembly, reassembly. I mean, if you've taken apart a lot, I mean, a ton of different knives, it's identical to a lot of knives. The only thing that was a little different for me compared to other bolster locks is most of the time you take these scales off and there's screws underneath that are holding everything together. But I'm thinking because of the thinness, because we wanted to go thin on this knife, especially thinner than the OG, they couldn't do that probably. So they just went straight through, which is fine. I have no issue with that. But that threw me off a little bit because instead of having something to hold it down, once this comes off, it just all comes off. But I mean, it was pretty painless right there. Everything, you know, kicked back together right. Once I realized that I had the D shape faced the wrong way. But yeah, let me know if you're going to pick one of these up on pre-order in the very near future. Let me know which version you plan to pick up. We're really excited about it. I absolutely love the way this model feels in the hand. It just truly is a dialed in version of the model. It's everything that we wanted the first one to be. You know, everything we have learned so far from the models that we've done, starting with the OG Stout, has been implemented into this knife. And it's the best way I can put it. Everything we've grown with and everything is just, it's all in here. And it really feels amazing. It's a nice culmination of things. And Colin and I are really excited about it. So hopefully you guys are as well. Would love to hear your thoughts. We tried not to really make any compromises on this one. That's something we've had to deal with in the past because we just, you know, price points and whatnot. And it does hurt us a little bit here price-wise, you know, with the retail price. It's going to be around $375, but that's why we're doing this early, you know, kind of early bird thing with the pre-order for $325. You know, it'll hurt us with dealers a little bit because our margins aren't great on it, but I think it's worth it to get this guy out there and hopefully make it as attainable as possible for people. But Vanax, titanium, milled titanium, milled clip or wire clip, whatever you want, left hand or right handed, fat carbon, belt satin, deep hollow grind. I mean, it really has everything that I want in an EDC knife. And yeah, so I'm going to shut up about it. Thank you guys for checking this video out. Sorry for a little bit of a hassle there, but that's how it goes. And I love you guys. Truly appreciate all the support. Hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. And I will catch you later.